Welcome back to Eco, and my workbench is steadily working away. It's making more logs just to finish off the house. It's a bit more complete than it was previously, but that's not quite enough. So let me just yeah, I've put on a job order for another workbench. One of the early concepts you need to get an idea of in Eco is that the workbench will take time to make stuff. So you're going to need to add more and more parallel machines, just as you might do in modded Minecraft or other games. I'm currently queuing things up, but we could cancel this job and then have them both working on it. I've got other things to do, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. We've got lots of stuff. What do we have available? I can't make bows yet, but if I go into Hunter, I'll get a free one, so that's not really a big deal. Let me just eat up and watch my calories, and then let's see what we can actually go for. So, last episode, we went into Survivalist, got a few of the cheaper things just to be able to unlock some various basic crafting recipes. We unlocked a little bit of the cheaper sort of, yeah, so the speed upgrades here. And this one controls how many calories you can store total. Right now I can store 3,500. Okay, and that increases it by 500 per level. Good. This is strong back. Now, I didn't mention this in the previous episode, I don't think, but there's a difference between the carrying weight. So if I go over and pick up some logs or some stone, which I'll just go and do to demonstrate, that's not the same thing as carry weight that you can unlock in that particular menu. Carry weight is at the very bottom right of the screen. You can see where it's got like a green line that's going up from the bottom towards the top. It's down here, this one. If you hover over, you'll see I'm carrying 9.4 kilograms, maximum of 35 kilograms. So if you want to be able to carry more in your backpack, that is, not the carry stuff that you can hold in your hands, then you want that strong back skill. I'm not going to need that just yet, but I've got 16, so I guess we can take up 4. You get 4 out of each block of this stone. Is the workbench done yet? Sounds done. Nah, it's not done. Let's see if it's done enough for... it's got 12 logs left. Okay, let's just grab some of those and we'll just complete this house, hopefully. So there's my carry. It's a very, very simple house to start off with. We don't even need any windows necessarily, but I suppose we could leave one. It's a nice view out there, so I guess we could leave a window, say, there. And if you wanted to build underground, like the start of a Minecraft game, you could do that as well. Rooms do count if you're underground, so you can make them underground base if you wanted to. I'm not going to do just for this playthrough, but I could even make that a door. I could make 2 doors in here. Yeah, let's actually make 2 doors in here. I like the idea of looking out here, and it's pretty beautiful. Okay, so just enclose these other 2 walls, and I'll get that done. And here our little log cabin is done, and we have a dirt floor. The dirt floor is absolutely fine. You don't need to actually put a stone floor down. It will look nicer if you do, so we'll come to that later, but it's very much a game about being efficient in what you spend. And of course these skill points, keeping this amount of skill points going, it's going to keep on accruing in the background, and there's nothing I can do to speed it up except eat right and decorate the house. That's going to be another thing, and we'll come back to those. So this will go over 1,000 even once we're actually done, but to get there we need some other things first. Now, how far are you along? Okay, 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 59 even for another workbench. What we're also going to want to make is this research table. It says plan research. So I'm going to need plant fibers, stone, and I'm going to need more logs. So let's just order one of those. Plant fibers, if I remember correctly, we can get from using our scythe that we got from farming, and I think we can just reap. Yeah, there we go. We're getting plant fibers from just reaping grass from the floor, which of course is making our little tiny a little tiny hut that much nicer. How many plant fibers I've got? 14. How many did it need? If you pop in here, you'll see it needs 24. Okay, so let's just keep on going. 18, 20, 22, and 24. 24. Come on, 24. There we go. So we can change this and we can just right click on our bench if we want to, just to dump stuff into it. Or indeed we can put it in a chest or that stockpile. And just double check something. If we go into storage, yeah, both of these are accepted, then they're ticked. So you can pull and push to the stockpile and to the storage chest as needed. So it'll be able to pull in whatever kind of stuff we put in there. What kind of recipes do we have for food as yet? Anything? Okay, we have campfire beans, but we don't have an efficient way of cooking it yet. Campfire salmon, trout, tuna, beets, which will be a good source of early game food. Same thing with tomatoes, but they cost 3 for each tomato. Now we've got 24 skill points, so some of the early stuff to get going, we'll want to get food sources. And you can, by all means, go out and just gather stuff off the ground. Forage, that is. And there are skill points that will increase the foraging the amount you get. So I haven't gone out and grabbed a huge amount, apart from these berries, which you get lots of anyway, huckleberries or blueberries, whatever you want to call them. So let's have a look at what we can actually take. So we're going to be looking in the farmer tree. And in gathering, we have a few options. So we have forest forager. That lets us get more trees. I can't... It'd be nice if... Can I see what 3 more benefits are? There we are. So we get more tomatoes, more huckleberries, and huckleberry seeds by advancing this one. This one, however, grassland gatherer. We've got all of these, and it increases our yield. So when we go and grab beets and beans, we'll get more if we have more skill points in here. And we definitely want both of those. These other 3, not so much. They're the same kind of things, but for like a desert environment. If I remember rightly, wetlands, desert, and snow biome. Yeah, tundra. There we go. But these 2 are going to be the main one that most people want to start with. We don't have farming yet, but in chef, that's the other one. We're going to look at here. So here the cooking efficiency will go up. So we save on various recipes. So let's click on that for a second. So, as you can see, it should be in there. Yeah, so let's look further down the screen. Charred beet recipe. Decreases the beet cost by 0%. The next level is 20. Okay, so this is just 1 point to start off with. We're already at 25. So, just to make our early game a little bit easier, we're going to increase this upwards. And I'm going to go all the way, actually. And then I'm just going to spend a couple in speed. I'm not going to need amazing amounts of speed or anything. Then let's just go back to, I think, back to farmer and the gatherer, and I've got 8 skill points, so I'm going to invest some in there, and that'll be it for now. So now if I go back to our campfire, what we should see is those sort of improvements in cost. So now the charred beet only cost 1 beet, and we, of course, we don't have any yet, but we do have tomatoes. And they are, again, only a cost of 1. Same thing with corn and beans, etc. Now, beans are quite rare to start with, so you want to be a bit careful with your beans usage. But beetroot is certainly good, and so is fish. But we can't get to fish just yet, so we'll have to, you know, get by with something else. So I'm just going to make another chest. I'll add this to the list. Chest. Down at the bottom. Storage chest. I'm going to order one of those. And it's going to need some logs. So I'm going to go and get those rest of those ingredients. We should have another workbench already. Yep, here it is. So I can then put another one here. Okay, and now I can have 2 things running at once. I'm not sure if we can turn the noise down of those. Does that decrease? Yes, it does. So hopefully that's a little bit more pleasant rather than what we have. Unfortunately, it also decreases other sound effects as well in the game. So let me know what you think about volume. I don't want to have annoying banging noises from the various crafting stations just because it's nice. So yeah, let me go get some more logs and we'll carry on crafting various things. Another storage chest I think is going to go near here, and we can just level this out a little bit maybe. Yeah, let's just take some from over here for a second and let's put it there and there. Does that look better? Yeah, that looks better. Okay, fine. Off for some logs. And I should mention, by the way, while I'm heading for logs, I'm trying to only take the fir trees or the oak trees. Oak give you lots more wood to start off with, and firs are just easy to identify. So they just stick up all the way, and they're often in snow zones. So if you have a snow zone near you, as you can tell, you can't hear I'm actually hitting the tree as much, but yeah, let me know what you think about the volume. So yeah, these are, first of all, they're easy to get, but mainly, mainly that they don't have any seeds that I could get. So I'm not going to waste wood by, or not waste an opportunity to get seeds just by taking the tree and not obviously knocking its leaves off first. It's just a nice and easy start for wood. Maybe they'll add more ability to get seeds from these later. Don't know. Then the game is 0.713 or something like that. I need to check what version the game is, but basically the current version on Steam as of the time of recording. So lots and lots of logs. This I may have mentioned is wood pulp. You do want to keep this. It may seem like it's just waste at the moment, but it'll become very, very useful for something called pitch, which we're going to use for stone later on, or type of stone. And it's all going to also be useful for fertilizer, so you do want to keep this. Although you might not want to spend the energy at the moment on taking it, so it's fine to just leave it where it is in the environment, and we should be able to go from there. Now you see, even with just that, because I haven't spent any efficiency stuff yet for my logging, that's taken my my stump contents, my calorie count, down to about half the size it was, or at least half the diameter it was. So I can just put this in here, and they'll carry on going. So I've got a few minutes to wait. I'm going to go and forage a little bit more. See if I can get some beets for a chest near here, and then we'll set up our cooking. Okay, it's a little dark, but hopefully you can still see okay. I'm just going to grab this research table, which has just come off build. Let me just actually put some stuff away. We'll just put some of this in there. Just grab that. And this is the first station you're going to need to build inside a room. Doesn't much matter where you put it inside the room, but inside the room at least. Sometimes you can't place them in the walls like that. You kind of have to move them around a little bit. So in our case, let's put them like this, so it's not going to block our way through the room. And here's the important concept. These crafting tables, in fact, let me get a torch. Can I build a torch with my second workbench? It's too dark in there. We can make a standing torch. Can we make that yet? One torch. Standing torch? Ah, we need more logs. Let me just get a regular torch. 24 seconds. So yeah, it's the first station that we're going to need to build inside a room. And once we've built it inside there, the room's volume determines how many stations can go in it. But more importantly, what you put inside that volume for that one room, and bear in mind, if I build another log house, you know, connected to this with a door in this wall here, so an extra room, if you like, that counts as a completely separate set of volumes. And we're going to do that for various reasons, one of which is what you put in the room is important. So if you put certain decorations in a room with other decorations, they cancel each other out and you don't get any benefit. If you get it right, however, you get extra skill points down here, and we're going to cover that soon. Let's grab a torch. Okay. So if we just pop inside, this torch will last a little while. We have a research table, and if we open it, we can choose to take all kinds of different tasks. Farming, cooking. We can't do that just yet. We need lots of ingredients like iron ore, iron ingots even, that we don't have yet. Stone construction. There's wood construction as well. Wood construction lets us make more than just log walls and flat ceilings. And it's relatively easy to actually do and very cheap. So let's actually just order that for argument's sake. And it's going to take 3 of those hewn logs that we've made, and it's going to say, hey, you need 7 more. Fine. So we can just order 7 more from here. And where is it? Up here somewhere. Hewn logs. 7. Okay, now because this should have access to the chest storage, hopefully. Yes, it does. If the research station is close enough, it'll also have access to the same chest storage. Let's hope it is. Just the stockpile. Okay, so we may want to put the chest a little bit closer so that it can pull ingredients. Stockpile must have a larger range, but in this case it's hewn logs, which means it'll pull from the stockpile. But if it was something other than hewn logs that needs to go into an inventory, well, we may want another chest out here, for instance. Did I make another chest? I thought I did. Yes, I did. So let's just swap that over, and let's just rotate this chest for argument's sake. And then we could remove that one. In fact, that's probably a good idea, so that what have we got in there? Let's just take this stuff out. And then we'll use this one as the one that we're going to build next to our campfire, so that we have an input and output sort of area for the campfire. Let's put it there. Okay, so now I can put all of my stuff in there. We can't eat directly out of this chest. You just right click on you know, the ingredients. But because we've now got a campfire, and my calorie total is rapidly diminishing, I'm going to be able to make stuff. So I have got some beets, so we probably should put a few of those on on cook. That's going to take 13 minutes at the moment. All right, so that may be something to do with the amount of skill points I've got. So let's go into chef and into campfire. And this is the speed one, the one at the bottom, and it's quite cheap to upgrade. So let's upgrade all of that. And again, it's only 5 skill points. So charred beet now. I can just decrease this. Will you give me... Let's just leave and go back in. Why are you still saying... okay, so 24 seconds each, just because I had quite a few on build. So let's just make just 3 for argument's sake. 1 minute 12. And I don't have any corn, but I have tomatoes. This doesn't have any access to the storage yet. That's probably why. Yep, so if I click on this and then unclick... We won't need access to anything else. Let me just unclick that. Okay, and then make sure that I have... Is that charred tomato? It is. I've put everything in this one chest, and this campfire can only have access to this storage, which should mean that everything is nicely put together. Yeah. It's complete. Okay. Return to campfire to collect your goods. It should be able to put stuff in the storage. It has. Good. Okay, so if we go to the storage, we can now just right click to eat some tomatoes and some charred beets. So have a look down here and have a look what happens to my amount of skill points per day. So tomatoes, 669, beet, 696, 718, 729, etc., etc. And we can send that up a little bit further. You see it's starting to become a little bit unbalanced. That's because I don't have protein or fat, and the only real way to get that early on until we get to fishing is beans, or at least the really nice way of getting to it anyway. So because beans are quite rare, I'm a bit skeptical about using this for too long, but to start off with, let's go up to campfire beans, and you know, let's just order 5 of those. Okay, a campfire can be powered by coal and by logs. Coal is, I think, more efficient to actually use, and of course a lot nicer to use than maybe our logs, because we're going to need to keep the ecosystem as nice as possible, and trees take an age to regrow. I think it's like 120 real-time hours or something, quite large for trees. Some of the crops only take a few hours, again, all real-time. So, but when we start farming stuff, when they do actually eventually grow, they're going to give us quite a high yield. So they're not going to be like 1 or 2. They might be 7 or 10 per plant. So yeah, we want to be a bit careful about that in the early game. Okay, so we've got some food on build, and my stomach is full. We've got 9 skill points. And if we want to increase that amount, we can go back into survivalist and go in here. So this will increase our calorie total. And this one is also calorie efficiency, so it reduces the consumption of that on various tasks that we might do. So we're about to hit 10, so what I may well think about is making that more efficient. Gathering. Do I want this? It's nice to have to be able to regrow trees fairly early, but I think I'd rather be more efficient so I can do more stuff. So let's just take that one. And of course, the next upgrade is 15 points, of course. We can also take this. Now, I haven't mentioned it until now, but now that we're starting to research, we probably should. So let's take a point in that. And what that does is it makes this research that we can create here cheaper. Okay, we do need 6 of more of those hewn logs. I'm going to get those sorted out next, and then we'll see what comes out of the research. Now the research table is complete, we can have a look in our chest. We could have got to it through the research table as well, but in here we're going to find a book. Wood construction. So if we right click that, in our inventory pops in a skill book. So this is part of the sort of way that it works in multiplayer. In multiplayer, all you need is one book. And any player who comes along who right clicks on the book gets their own skill scroll, which they can right click, and they've learned wood construction. They also get some more property claim flags if they're playing multiplayer. Okay, so now I should have the ability to learn wood construction. So if I pop into the skill point menu, and wood construction is going to be on the carpenter. Yep, so here we are, wood construction. I can click on that, don't have to spend anything for it. And then we get these upgrades. So hewn log construction and lumber construction. So this may not be apparent because there's nothing on the tooltip as to what this will actually do. This will let us build other things out of the hewn logs. So we can make more than just walls. So if I just take one level because it's 1 point, let's see if that's actually upgraded as any. Do we have any hewn logs left? No, I need to make one. That's okay. And the other thing we can actually do for that, by the way, is going into the same thing, carpenter, go into hewing, and then you can choose the processing speed. So if we spend a point in that, and this gives us more recipes, and this is the processing speed, is it? Hang on, wasn't that processing speed? Efficiency. Okay, so it takes less logs to make hewn logs. I actually like that quite a lot. I'm going to increase that. I want to be chopping down less. The less trees I want to chop down, the better. That's going to be the case in a lot of these different things. You want to go for the efficiency ones so that you're not using up so many resources, particularly if you're playing solo like me. If you're playing with multiplayer, it's not quite as bad because you want to get other people to do that for you and bring you resources. If I haven't already mentioned it around the around all over the place, you're going to find deposits like this as well. This is iron ore, and there's gold often nearby to it as well. What I'm looking for is not that though, is more like coal, and I think there might be some coal around somewhere. There usually is some bits and pieces around that we can grab, just as a better kind of fuel source. There's some better fuel source for that fire. We don't necessarily want to be using logs when we can use coal, or at least not initially. So again, with each block, you're going to get 4 out of it. So to carry 20, we just want to hit 5 blocks. And then subdivide anything that's yellow. Come on. There we go. Yeah, sometimes lots of them are yellow. Other times, not so much. Let's just grab all of them. Is that 20? 19, 20. There we go. Okay, and let's get some beets while we see them. We'll be growing them in farms soon enough. They're one of the quite easy things to grow, if I remember rightly, early. So let's get those in place. However, let's put the coal in place in the fire first. So we get that sorted. Back over here. It can pull from a chest as well, but we may as well just drop that in. We'll take the log out. We don't necessarily want to use logs on that. And keep them in our stockpile. Okay, we're going to add to the number of crafting stations we have. So let's make a carpentry table. Order one of those. And probably a masonry table as well. And it's going to say we're short on various things. So it needs 28 stone and 3 logs. So it should have used all of our stockpile. I'll go and get those, and then I'll place those down, and we'll take a look at what they do. With that construction done, we should have a couple of new crafting stations. And I think these require to be inside. If you hover over them, you'll see Yep, so that's 25 meters cube volume. That's what it needs. And it must be inside a room. And the same thing for this. So let's go and check out what the volume currently is and how much we're using. So if you go to an existing table in here and go to status, you'll see 25 meters cubed out of 75 meters cubed used by the objects in the room. And this research table uses 25. So we've got space for exactly 2 more crafting stations. Oddly enough, we have 2 more crafting stations. So we can put them in the corners, one and one there. And we're probably going to move these out into separate rooms. We'll have to sort of specialize the rooms as we want to get a higher quality house. But for now, we can put them in the same one. For example, you will want probably a room for a bedroom with beds in it. You will want a room for a kitchen. And then you'll want a bathroom with the latrine in it. You won't want to combine that with anything else. But then we have a common room and then, you know, maybe, I don't know, but your room for tools or a separate building entirely for tools. Not quite sure yet, but we definitely want these in a room. So we can make different things in these. Contract boards are more for multiplayer. You can in multiplayer post a contract and get other people to fulfill that for you. I think that also includes trading as well. So that's a possibility for multiplayer. We don't need it just yet. However, we can make a door. That might be, well, we actually need 2 doors. So let's make 2 of them. And let's just see what else can we actually make. This is further kind of crafting tables. We're not going to need them just yet. So wood sign might be useful. Yeah, that's fine. It can also make hewn logs. And while that's processing, we can have a look at the masonry table, see if there's anything in here that we want. So we can make masonry pitch from sand. We don't have sort of a huge supply of sand, but we can also make a mill here, which is for grinding wheat and stuff like that. Not going to need it. And mortar stone is going to be a big thing that we're going to need. And that does need that pitch from sand. So you need to get some way of getting pitch. And then stone, which of course we can get from various places, and the rest, you know, we won't worry about. But you can see that there is a recipe for grinding stone to sand. So we have stone nearby, but that requires mortar production 1, which we haven't researched yet. And that's something that I'm going to have to research. But again, 5 stone to 1 sand seems quite a large sort of ingredient to product ratio. So maybe there's a way for us to sort that out. However, if you have a look down here in mortar production 2, there's pulp pitch. Remember when I said to keep that wood pulp? Well, here's what it's used for. 25 wood pulp gets us a pulp pitch, which can be used, I think. Yeah, this just says pitch, so we can use masonry or pulp. And there's even one from the fire outside that you can make as well. But this seems one of the ways when you're actually logging quite a lot, you're going to get a lot of that stuff, and we'll be able to use it up in here. Stone brazier is just another source of light, and stone ramps. Again, we're going to get that to when we get to roads, because there are going to be roads in this. We're going to have to go down into a mine of some kind that we create, probably underneath here somewhere. And yeah, we're going to have to dispose of stuff down there. Remember, this is a game about an ecosystem, and we don't want to have pollution up here and spreading out all over the place. So when we get to smelting, we'll have to deal with that. Now, what's next on the research? Have I put another research project on yet? I haven't. Okay, so we've got wood construction so far. Stone construction needs that mortar stone. Lumber I'm not going to go for yet. Maybe farming, because that just needs 4 white mushroom spores, 4 corn seeds, and that's it. So if I go for that, I'm just going to need to go and look for corn, which is quite easy to spot if you've ever seen corn before. Is there any over here? In fact, that's a good point to introduce the features of the map. So in here on world layers, you can go to roughly the corn one, and you'll see, hopefully somewhere, there will be corn. There's some up here, so we can head directly north that way. We will get to corn. So I'm going to head that way and see if we can get something over there. We're also going to be looking for the mushrooms as well. That's in low-lying wetland areas. So let's just see if there's any down here, actually, because this is much lower. It may not be the right biome. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's continue heading over. Oops. Pop out. See if we can see any stuff over here. More stone and more iron ore. There is gold ore as well, so we do keep an eye out for that. It's quite obvious when you see it. And if we need coal, well, we've got a lot of coal. It's about 130 odd meters away from the base. But yeah, there's plenty there available for us to build. In fact, this is almost a better, kind of nicer area to start in, but it's fine. The one we've got is okay. Let's just see, where's that corn area? Follow just to the north across this river, and we should be able to find it. And we've got the bison running away in the distance, if you can still see that. We're not going to need those for a little while yet until we get butchery going and hunting. That's another source of food. But of course, we're going to get corn from this. What we actually want is corn seeds, so I need to watch out for those. And we've got more than enough. We've got like 9 or so now. We can take more wheat back with us if we want. So this is wheat. I need to just disable the light for a second while I pick this up. And we can bring the light back. Okay, and now where is... So if we just change from corn, is it just mushrooms or is it the specific kind of mushrooms? Criminine mushrooms, there we are. So is that back near our base? Yeah, so directly to the west of our base. Let's head that way. And here we are, just west of the base. And we've got some mushrooms down here. So we want the white ones. And we need the spores specifically, not just the mushrooms. So if we just bring up our backpack, let's just put the mushrooms in there. Hopefully they should just stack themselves automatically. And we want these spores. No, those are the mushrooms. Spores. There we go, we've got 1 spore. We need 4 of them at least, though. There's another one. And just 2 more. Hopefully around here somewhere. Oops, there's 1 more. And does the map say? Yeah, it should be some more across this area. Yeah, don't jump into water with a torch. Aha, it's fine. You just switch away and the torch comes back. There's no problem. It's fine. Let's just grab that. 2 criminine mushrooms and another spore, maybe? There we go. The plant's dead. Oh. Okay. You'll see dead plants around all the place. They're normally brown, but of course mushrooms, well, dead, alive, who can tell? Fungus is just like that. So let's head back to the base and we'll get that research on the go. Oh, there's a turkey. Yeah, we're going to be hunting that later, I think. They're actually one of the easiest things to kill, turkeys. By comparison to elks, elks are a nightmare. I just saw one in the distance. And also bison. They both can take quite a few hits from your bow and arrow when you first start out. Okay, so if I pop in the stuff that we want to just be used for the research, we want those spores. We can just pop them in. It should pull them automatically, which it has. And the same thing with the corn seeds. It's probably going to grab a few of those automatically. And now it's going to take 3 minutes, 16 seconds, and then farming will be done. That is all well and good. I think we've also completed some doors. So let's go get those doors on and complete our house. That's 1 door anyway. I may need another one. So if I just place it here in the doorway, that way, I think it shouldn't much matter. But yeah, we got a door. And of course, you can actually set this up to lock it. So press E, and again, you have that multiplayer sort of set up for that. We're going to need another door. Why? I thought I made 2. Did I not make 2? Is it stuck? It's not even in here, is it? It's in the other station. Whoops. It's in here. Carpentry station. Are you out of logs? Oh, did it just complete the second one? We can get to it by the storage tab in here. Storage. Yes, it did. It was just delayed a little bit. So we got that there. We can go and put this one in this side. Okay, so we've got a really nice log cabin. We've got some, let's bring up the lights. It's okay. We don't have any kind of bed or anything to rest in yet, but it's okay. And don't have any decorations. We've got quite a few crafting tables, and we're about to get into farming. But I think that's pretty much it for this episode. We've got cooking on the go. The next research, if you are going to move ahead, or want to move ahead, is in here. You probably want this advanced campfire cooking. It only takes 8 grilled tomatoes, 8 grilled corn, and we've got both of those, charred corn even. And then these charred camas bulbs, they are kind of a purplish flower that you'll see all over the place. I think these are them. Let's just grab you. No, that's dirt. Is it these? No, it's a similar kind of purplish flower. I will look at what they look like before next episode, show you those, and they're going to be needed for the next research, and we'll get that on the go. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. It is the second one in the Eco series, so hopefully you're enjoying it. Let me know in the comments if you are, or if you've got any questions about it. More than happy to answer them. Until next time, thanks for watching, and feel free to like, subscribe, and share as normal. See you next time.